While the CRD board vote against continuing the Viewfield sludge plant option was important, comments by many directors suggested that the only reason they were now voting against Viewfield was the massive public protest from Esquimalt and Vic West residents. However, when we see what is emerging as a new game plan against Esquimalt and against Hartland neighbours, one doubts that contrite comments by at least some of these directors were sincere, especially as we see suggestions for trucking sludge through Esquimalt. A problem for both the CRD decision makers and for CRD residents is that the CRD's triple bottom line evaluation has failed to include safety, danger, and hazard as explicit criteria to be able to judge between the options for sewage and sludge plants. The TBL's social criteria group, having omitted safety, danger, and hazard criteria, needs a huge rethink, rather than just being rejigged to now show that Hartland goes back to being your best choice. The TBL's grievous shortcomings remain clear when looking back at the CRD's 2010 TBL that also did not include safety criteria, but that did choose Hartland over an unnamed Upper Harbour site. Apparently, Hartland neighbours at Willis Point, at Prospect Lake, in Highlands East, may not have been fully consulted on that 2010 choice of Hartland, but will they be fully consulted now? The CRD's sewage treatment plant cost $210 million, but the sewage sludge plant, with its pipelines, is estimated to cost more than the sewage plant. It's worrying that the intention of a hazardous sludge plant is to reduce the negative environmental impacts of a sewage treatment plant. However, the CRD's idea of wanting an expensive, risky, resource recovery sludge plant could be rethought. Why not just operate the sewage plant to meet the Fed's biological oxygen demand compliance, rewater the sludge to meet the Fed's suspended solids compliance, and discharge this treated effluent out of the McLoughlin pipe back into the Strait? No sludge plant at all. That could meet federal regulations and could save $500 million, which will be way more than what you need to meet Esquimalt's rezone bylaw 3806 and end the angst about conflicts or futile searches for other sewage plant and sludge plant sites. This minimum treatment, no biosolids option, while doing nothing significant for the marine environment, does allow you to get back to planning for housing, parks, arts, and for implementing a deer management strategy. Emerging safety, danger, and hazards for both McLoughlin and for Hartland clearly underscore that our current marine-based sewage treatment system is very low risk compared to these options, and you must demand the operational deadline that reflects lower risk, at least 2030, to allow better planning that accounts for safety and other issues. Given that evidence-based science from UVic oceanographers hardly supports additional stages of sewage treatment, it is vital to confirm that environmental, human, and economic risk from land-based treatment will be no worse than risks from the current system. The CTAC report, Discussion of Relative Risk, should point the way to a full risk analysis of competing systems, technologies, and sites. It is unfortunate that such comprehensive, independent, environmental, health, and economic risk-based impact assessment on the CRD sewage plan hasn't been done, is not planned,